Cancer, what leaves now makes space for better. If you are ready to finally release what has been quietly suffocating your growth, then this message is going to change the way you move through the rest of this season, and possibly the rest of your life. What leaves now makes space for better. And if you are a Cancer or have strong Cancer energy in your chart, that sentence is not just a title. It is a prophecy that is already unfolding. Right now, you are standing in a doorway between what was and what could be. And the weight of holding both at the same time has been pressing down on your chest in ways you have not fully acknowledged. You feel it in the mornings when you wake up already tired. You feel it in the way certain conversations leave you hollow instead of connected. You feel it in the quiet moments when something whispers that life is supposed to feel different than this. Lighter, warmer, more yours. That whisper is not wishful thinking. It is your intuition telling you that the things you have been gripping so tightly are the very things standing between you and the peace you have been craving. But here is the part most people miss: letting go does not mean losing. For Cancer, letting go means making room. It means clearing the table so something nourishing can finally be placed on it. And what is coming for you is extraordinary, but it cannot arrive until your hands are open. Stay with me through every single tip in this message, because each one builds on the last, and the final one will connect everything in a way that will stop you in your tracks. Tip 1. Let go of the home you built inside someone else's approval. Cancer, you are one of the most emotionally intelligent signs in the entire zodiac. And that is not flattery. It is a fact that has shaped your entire life. You read people the way others read books. You sense shifts in mood before a single word is spoken. You know when someone is pulling away before they even realize they are doing it. And because of that incredible sensitivity, you have developed a deep, almost instinctive need to make sure the people around you feel good about you. Not just comfortable, not just neutral, genuinely pleased, genuinely approving. You want to see warmth in their eyes when they look at you. You want to hear it in their voice when they say your name. And when that approval is there, you feel safe. You feel like you belong. You feel like the ground beneath your feet is solid. But when it is not there, when someone pulls back, when someone criticizes, when someone simply fails to acknowledge what you have done for them, the ground disappears. And that is the problem. Not that you value connection. Connection is sacred to you, and it should be. The problem is that you have built your emotional home inside the approval of other people. And a home built on someone else's feelings is a home that can be demolished with a single word. Think about how many times your entire mood has been dictated by someone else's reaction to you. Think about how many good days turned dark because one person did not respond the way you hoped. Think about how much energy you spend calibrating your behavior to maintain someone's approval. Saying the right thing, doing the extra favor, swallowing your own feelings so they do not disrupt the harmony you are desperately trying to preserve. That is not love, Cancer. That is survival. And you have been in survival mode for so long that you have confused it with living. The approval you seek from others is actually something you need to give yourself. It sounds simple, but it is the most radical shift you can make. Because when your sense of safety comes from within, no one can take it away. No cold response, no missed phone call, no lack of gratitude can shake the foundation you have built inside your own heart. This does not mean you stop caring about people. It does not mean you become indifferent to how others feel. It means you stop making their feelings about you the barometer of your own worth. It means you learn to sit with disapproval and still feel whole. It means you practice saying, their reaction is about them. My value is about me. And every single time you practice that, the home inside you gets a little stronger, a little more solid, a little more yours. You have spent decades building beautiful spaces inside other people's hearts. It is time to build one inside your own. One that no one else holds the keys to. One that stays standing no matter what storms pass through. That is the home you deserve. And it starts the moment you stop seeking permission to feel safe and start giving yourself that safety directly. The people who are meant to be in your life will not need you to perform for their approval. They will offer their warmth freely because that is what real connection looks like. Everything else was just you paying rent in someone else's house and calling it home. Tip 2. Let go of the belief that your worth is measured by how much you give. You give, Cancer. That is what you do. You give your time, your energy, your attention, your comfort, your last ounce of emotional strength to the people you love. You give until your hands are empty, and then you find a way to give a little more. And somewhere deep inside, you carry the belief that this is what makes you valuable. That without your giving, you are just ordinary, forgettable, replaceable. That belief has been driving you for years, maybe decades, and it has created a pattern that is slowly destroying you. Because when your worth is tied to your output, you can never rest. There is always someone who needs something. There is always a situation where you could step in and help. There is always a gap that you could fill, a burden you could carry, a problem you could solve if you just stretch yourself a little thinner. And so you do. You stretch and stretch until there is nothing left to give. And then instead of stopping, you feel guilty for having limits. You feel ashamed that you are tired. You feel like a failure for needing something yourself. This is not generosity, Cancer. This is a transaction. You are trading your energy for a sense of value, and the exchange rate is devastating. Because no amount of giving will ever be enough to silence the voice inside that says you are not enough without it. You could give everything you have and still feel like you fell short, because the emptiness you are trying to fill with service is not a problem of output, it is a problem of belief. The belief itself is the wound, and the giving is just a bandage that keeps falling off. Here is what you need to hear, and I need you to really let this land. You are not valuable because of what you give. You are valuable because of who you are. Before you lifted a single finger for anyone, before you solved a single problem, before you carried a single burden that was not yours, you were already worthy. Your worth was established the moment you arrived, and nothing you do or fail to do can change it. That is not a motivational quote. That is the truth of your existence. And until you absorb it, you will keep giving from a place of fear instead of love, and the people around you will keep taking because you have trained them to believe that your giving is infinite. It is not. You have limits, and those limits are not shameful, they are sacred. They are the boundaries of your humanity, and respecting them is the most generous thing you can do. Not for others, for yourself. Start noticing when you give out of love and when you give out of obligation. Start paying attention to the difference in your body between genuine generosity and fear-based sacrifice. One feels warm and expansive, the other feels tight and draining. Follow the warmth, release the tightness, and watch what happens when you allow yourself to receive with the same grace you have always given. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Let go of the past versions of love that taught you pain was normal. There is a template in your heart, Cancer, and it was written long before you had any say in the matter. It was written by the first relationships you ever witnessed, the first bonds you ever felt, the first moments where love and hurt arrived in the same breath. And that template, that early blueprint, has been quietly shaping every relationship you have entered since. If the love you first knew was inconsistent, you learned to accept inconsistency as a feature of love rather than a flaw. If the affection you received came with conditions, you learned to perform for love rather than simply receive it. If closeness always carried the risk of disappointment, you learned to brace yourself every time someone got near, holding your breath and waiting for the sting that experience taught you always comes. This is not your fault. You did not choose these patterns. They were installed in you during the years when you had no filter, no defense, no ability to say, "This is not the kind of love I want." You absorbed whatever was offered because you were too young to know that other options existed. But you are not too young anymore. And those old templates are no longer protecting you, they are trapping you. They are keeping you in relationships that echo the past instead of creating something new. They are making you tolerate behavior that should be unacceptable simply because it feels familiar. And for Cancer, familiarity is dangerously powerful. You are a sign that finds comfort in what you know, even when what you know is painful. The known pain feels safer than the unknown joy because at least you know how to navigate it. At least you know what to expect. At least you know where to hide when it gets bad. But that is not safety. That is a cage made of predictable suffering, and you have been sitting in it long enough. Releasing these old templates does not require you to forget your past or deny your experiences. It requires you to see them for what they are, data from a time when you had no choices, and then consciously, deliberately choose something different for yourself now. It requires you to look at the way you have been accepting love and ask yourself honestly, is this what I would choose if I believed I deserved more? Because you do deserve more. You deserve love that does not require you to shrink. Love that does not punish you for having needs. Love that does not make you earn tenderness through suffering. Love that arrives without a cost, stays without conditions, and grows without requiring you to sacrifice pieces of yourself to keep it alive. That kind of love exists, but it cannot find you while you are sitting in the pattern that old pain built. You have to step out of the template. You have to be willing to feel disoriented for a while, because healthy love will feel unfamiliar at first. It will feel almost suspicious, like something must be wrong because nothing hurts. But nothing is wrong. That is just what love feels like when it is not contaminated by old wounds. Let the old versions of love rest. They served their purpose. They taught you survival. But survival is not the goal anymore. Thriving is. And thriving requires a completely new blueprint. One that you get to write yourself, with all the wisdom your past has given you and none of the limitations it tried to impose. Tip 4. Let go of the habit of carrying everyone else's emotions as your own. Cancer, your emotional radar is extraordinary. Picks up signals that most people cannot even detect. You walk into a room and within seconds, you know who is upset, who is pretending to be fine, who is carrying something heavy, and who is about to break. This is one of your most remarkable qualities, and it is also one of the most exhausting, because you do not just sense emotions, you absorb them. They enter your system as if they were your own, and suddenly you are carrying sadness that does not belong to you, anxiety that has nothing to do with your life, and a heaviness that you cannot explain because its origin is not inside you. It is someone else's storm, but it is raining inside your chest. This has been happening for so long that you may not even recognize it anymore. You might think that the heaviness is just part of who you are. You might believe that feeling drained after being around certain people is normal. You might assume that the emotional roller coaster you ride daily is your own ride, never realizing that half the peaks and valleys belong to someone else entirely. But consider this. How many times have you felt completely fine, walked into a gathering or answered a phone call, and within minutes your entire emotional state shifted? How many times have you come home from spending time with someone and needed hours to recover? Not from physical exertion, but from the invisible weight of their unspoken feelings pressing against yours. How many times have you laid in bed wondering why you feel so sad when nothing in your own life has gone wrong? Those moments are not random mood shifts. They are the evidence of emotional absorption, and they have been draining your reserves for years. The first step to releasing this pattern is learning to ask yourself a simple but powerful question every time a strong emotion arises. Is this mine? Not every feeling that passes through you belongs to you. Not every sadness needs to be carried. Not every anxiety needs to be solved. Some of these feelings are visitors, not residents, and they only become permanent when you give them a room in your house and start treating them like they live there. You can be deeply empathetic without being a sponge. You can hold space for someone without absorbing their pain. You can love someone fiercely without taking on their emotional weight as your own. The boundary between compassion and absorption is subtle, but it is the most important boundary you will ever learn to draw. And here is the part that might surprise you. When you stop absorbing other people's emotions, you actually become a better support for them. Because right now, when you absorb their pain, you get overwhelmed. You get pulled into their whirlpool. And two people drowning cannot save each other. But when you stay grounded in your own emotional truth while still holding compassion for theirs, you become an anchor. You become the steady presence they actually need. Not someone who falls apart with them, but someone who stands firm beside them while they fall apart, offering strength instead of shared collapse. That is the kind of love that heals. That is the kind of presence that transforms. And you cannot offer it when you are drowning in emotions that were never yours to carry. Let them go. Keep your heart open, but stop letting every feeling that touches you move in permanently. Your emotional home has limited space, and it is time to reserve it for what is truly yours. Tip 5. Let go of the need to fix everything before you can feel at peace. There is a restlessness inside you, Cancer, that never quite settles. Even in your best moments, even when things are going well, there is always something in the background pulling at your attention. A problem unsolved, a person unhelped, a situation that has not quite reached the resolution you need it to reach before you can truly exhale. And so you live in a constant state of almost peace, where relaxation is always conditional, always contingent on one more thing being handled, one more issue being resolved, one more person being okay. But that one more thing never ends, because life is not a checklist that reaches completion. It is a river that keeps flowing, and new problems arise as fast as old ones are solved. If you wait for everything to be fixed before you allow yourself peace, you will wait forever. And you know this. Deep down you know this. But knowing it and living it are two very different things for your sign. Cancer is a nurturer by nature. You see broken things and you want to mend them. You see struggling people and you want to soothe them. You see chaos and you want to create order. And all of that comes from a beautiful place. A genuine desire to make the world gentler, safer, warmer. But somewhere along the way, that desire became a demand. It became a condition you placed on your own happiness. I will relax when this is handled. I will enjoy myself once that person is okay. I will breathe when everything is settled. And nothing is ever settled. So you never breathe. Not really. Not deeply. Not the kind of breath that reaches all the way down to the place where tension has been living for years. The peace you are chasing does not live at the end of your to-do list. It does not live on the other side of a solved problem. It lives inside you right now, underneath all the noise and the worry and the compulsive fixing. It has been there all along, patiently waiting for you to stop looking for it outside and start accessing it within. This does not mean you stop caring about problems. This does not mean you become passive or indifferent. It means you learn to carry peace alongside the mess. It means you develop the ability to say, things are not perfect, and I am still allowed to feel good. It means you stop holding your own well-being hostage until the world cooperates with your expectations. Practice this. The next time you catch yourself in the cycle of, I cannot rest until, stop. Just stop. Take a breath. Look around you. Notice what is actually fine in this exact moment. Not what might go wrong tomorrow. Not what someone else might need later. Just this moment right here, right now. Is there air in your lungs? Is there a roof above you? Is your heart beating? Then peace is available to you. Not later. Now. You have been postponing your own serenity for years, Cancer. And the only person who can end that postponement is you. Let the world be imperfect. Let the problems sit for a moment. Let the people in your life figure out their own storms while you take 5 minutes to remember what stillness feels like. You have earned that stillness. And it does not require a perfect world to exist. It only requires your permission. Tip 6. Let go of the guilt that follows you every time you choose yourself. Guilt is your constant companion, Cancer. Not the kind that comes from doing something wrong, the kind that comes from doing something right for yourself. Every time you say no, guilt shows up. Every time you take a step back from someone else's problem, guilt taps you on the shoulder. Every time you choose rest over rescue, guilt whispers that you are being selfish, that people need you, that the world cannot manage without your intervention. And because you feel so deeply, that whisper hits harder than it would for most. It does not feel like a passing thought. Feels like a verdict. Like you have been found guilty of the crime of self-preservation. And the sentence is an aching knot in your stomach that does not dissolve until you go back to giving. But that guilt is not your conscience. It is a conditioned response. It was installed by years of being the one everyone leaned on. By the subtle messages that told you your role was to serve, to soothe, to sacrifice. Every time someone said, I do not know what I would do without you, they were adding another brick to the wall of obligation around you. Every time someone reacted with disappointment when you set a boundary, they reinforced the idea that your boundaries are acts of cruelty rather than acts of sanity. And now, that conditioning runs so deep that you genuinely believe choosing yourself is wrong. You believe it in your bones. You feel it in your stomach. And it drives you back into self-sacrifice over and over again, not because you want to give, but because the pain of guilt is worse than the pain of depletion. But think about where that cycle ends, Cancer. It ends with you empty, hollowed out, resentful in ways you do not express because resentment also makes you feel guilty. It ends with you surrounded by people who are thriving off your energy while you quietly disintegrate, smiling through the exhaustion because even admitting you are tired feels like a burden you should not place on others. That is not sustainable. That is not noble. That is a slow-motion collapse dressed up as love. Real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that heals, the kind that does not leave destruction in its wake, includes loving yourself. And that means doing things that trigger guilt sometimes. That means sitting with the discomfort of someone else's disappointment and still holding your ground. That means accepting that not everyone will understand your choices, and deciding that your peace matters more than their approval. The guilt will come. Let it come. Feel it. Acknowledge it. And then watch it pass. Because it does pass. It always passes. And on the other side of it is a clarity you have rarely experienced. The clarity of a person who has chosen themselves without apology and survived the aftermath. That survival builds strength. And that strength builds a life that is genuinely yours, not one you borrowed from everyone else's expectations. You are allowed to put yourself first, Cancer. Not sometimes. Regularly. Consistently. Unapologetically. And the people who love you for real will not only accept it, they will celebrate it. Tip 7. Let go of the spaces that no longer feel like home. Home is everything to you, Cancer. Not just the physical space where you live, but the feeling of home, the warmth, the safety, the sense of belonging that makes a place or a relationship or a situation feel like yours. You have spent your entire life creating that feeling, cultivating it in your surroundings, in your relationships, in the routines and rituals that give your days structure and comfort. And because home is so central to your identity, letting go of a space that once felt like home is one of the hardest things you will ever do. But some spaces have changed. Some relationships that once felt like shelter now feel like cages. Some routines that once brought comfort now bring numbness. Some environments that once nurtured you have become places where you shrink, where you dim, where you perform a version of yourself that does not match who you have become. And you know this. You feel it every time you walk through a door, and something in your chest tightens instead of relaxes. You feel it every time you go through the motions of a routine that used to fill you but now just drains you. You feel it in the gap between what a space used to be and what it is now, a gap filled with nostalgia for something that no longer exists. Nostalgia is a beautiful liar, Cancer. It shows you the golden highlights of what was and hides the full picture. It makes you ache for moments that were not as perfect as you remember them. And it keeps you tied to places and situations and dynamics that have already ended in every way except physically. You are still showing up, but the feeling is gone. The warmth is gone. The sense of home is gone. What remains is just the shell, and you are living inside it out of loyalty to a memory. But loyalty to a memory is not the same as loyalty to yourself. And when a space no longer feeds you, when it no longer holds you the way it once did, staying is not devotion. It is denial. You deserve to feel at home in your own life. Not just in theory, not just on good days, but deeply, consistently in your bones. And sometimes that means walking away from the spaces that used to provide that feeling but no longer do. Sometimes it means closing a door that you built with your own hands, painting over the walls you decorated, leaving a room that holds the echoes of your laughter from a different time. That is not betrayal. That is growth. That is your spirit telling you that the home you need now is different from the home you needed then. And the only way to find it is to let go of what no longer fits. You will build again. That is what Cancer does. You will take your warmth, your care, your extraordinary ability to make any space feel sacred, and you will pour it into something new. Something that reflects who you are today, not who you were 5 years ago. Something that grows with you instead of holding you in place. The next home, whether it is a place, a relationship, a community, or simply a new way of being, is waiting. But it cannot welcome you until you leave the one that has already let you go. Tip 8. Let go of the need to be needed. This one cuts close, Cancer, because being needed is interwoven with your identity in ways that are difficult to untangle. You do not just enjoy helping people, you need to be needed by them. When someone depends on you, when someone turns to you in their darkest moment, when someone says, "You are the only one who understands," something inside you lights up. Feels like purpose. Feels like validation. It feels like proof that you matter, that your presence in this world means something, that your existence has weight and value beyond what you can see on your own. And there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to matter. Every human being needs to feel significant, but when that significance becomes dependent on other people's dependency, you have built your identity on quicksand. Because people grow, people heal, people learn to stand on their own. And when they do, when they no longer need you the way they once did, instead of feeling proud of their growth, you feel displaced. You feel unnecessary. You feel like the ground beneath you is crumbling because the person who once needed you has found their own footing. And that feeling, that specific quiet devastation of becoming unnecessary to someone you poured yourself into, is one of the most painful experiences a Cancer can endure. It is why you sometimes unconsciously keep people in a state of needing you, not maliciously, never maliciously, but subtly, by doing things for them they could do for themselves, by swooping in before they have a chance to struggle and grow, by making yourself so essential to their functioning that they never develop the muscles to function without you. And while that keeps you feeling needed, it stunts their growth and traps you in a role that is slowly swallowing your own identity. You are more than a caretaker. You are more than a safety net. You are more than the person people call when everything falls apart. Those are roles you play, not the entirety of who you are. And when those roles become the only source of your self-worth, you lose access to everything else you are. Your creativity, your dreams, your own needs, your own right to be held instead of always being the one who holds. Releasing the need to be needed does not mean you stop helping. It means you help because you choose to, not because you need to in order to feel alive. It means you allow people to struggle, to fall, to figure things out on their own, even when every fiber of your being screams to step in. It means you learn to find your value in who you are when no one needs anything from you. In the quiet moments, in the stillness, in the space between giving where your own identity gets to breathe. And here is the reward for that release. When people stay in your life not because they need you but because they choose you, the love you receive is infinitely more nourishing. It is not dependency disguised as devotion. It is genuine, voluntary, freely given connection. The kind that does not crumble when the other person gets strong. The kind that grows deeper precisely because no one is trapped in it. That is the love you deserve. And you will never find it as long as you are measuring your worth by how much someone needs you to survive. Let them stand. Let them grow. Let them need you less. And watch how the love that remains, the love that is chosen, not required, fills you in ways that being needed never could. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Tip 9. Let go of the fear that opening up again will lead to the same pain. You have been hurt, Cancer. Deeply. The kind of hurt that does not just leave a scar. It changes the architecture of your heart. It rearranges the walls, adds new locks, installs alarms that go off at the slightest hint of vulnerability. And those defenses, they have kept you safe. They have prevented you from experiencing the same devastation twice. But they have also prevented you from experiencing the depth of connection your soul is aching for. Because you cannot selectively numb. You cannot wall off the pain without also walling off the joy. You cannot protect yourself from heartbreak without also protecting yourself from the kind of love that makes life feel worth living. And right now, you are in a place where the protection has started to feel like punishment. The walls that once kept danger out are now keeping everything out. The good, the beautiful, the tender, the healing. You are safe, yes. But you are also alone inside a fortress you built with your own fear. And the silence in there is louder than any pain you were trying to avoid. Someone has been trying to reach you. Maybe not a person specifically, but an opportunity for connection, for intimacy, for the kind of openness that used to come naturally to you before the hurt rewired your instincts. And every time that opportunity knocks, your alarm system activates. Your body tightens. Your mind starts listing every reason it is not safe. Every past betrayal lines up like evidence in a trial where the verdict has already been decided. It will happen again. But that verdict is not based on the present. It is based on the past. It is based on a version of reality that involved different people, different circumstances, a different version of you. The person who was hurt back then had less wisdom, less self-awareness, less understanding of what they deserved. The person standing here now, the person reading these words, has survived that pain and come out stronger, even if you do not feel strong right now. You are not the same person who walked into that old situation, and the future is not a replay of the past. New people are not the same people who hurt you. New opportunities are not the same traps that caught you before. And your heart, as bruised and cautious as it is, has not lost its capacity to love and be loved in return. That capacity is still there, beating steadily behind all the armor, waiting for you to trust it again. Opening up does not mean you abandon your discernment. It does not mean you throw your heart at the first person who shows interest. It means you allow yourself to be seen again, slowly, carefully, at your own pace. It means you take the locks off the door without removing the door entirely. It means you let someone stand on the porch while you decide whether to invite them in. rather than pretending the house is empty. The pain you experienced was real. Honor it. Learn from it. But do not let it become the only story your heart knows how to tell. There are other stories waiting to be written. Stories of trust rebuilt, of love that arrives gently, of vulnerability that is met with kindness instead of cruelty. Those stories exist, and they are looking for a heart brave enough to live them. Yours qualifies, even with the scars, especially with the scars, because a heart that has been broken and still wants to love is the bravest thing in the world. Do not let fear rob you of what your heart was built for. Let the walls come down, not all at once, but one brick at a time, one breath at a time, one moment of trust at a time. What is waiting on the other side of that fear is more beautiful than anything you have imagined from inside the fortress, and you will never know until you open the door. Tip 10. Let go of the belief that what you want is too much to ask for. This is the weight that sits beneath all the others, Cancer. Beneath the people-pleasing and the emotional absorption and the guilt and the fear, there is a quiet, persistent belief that what you truly want, the life you dream about in your most private moments, the love you crave in the deepest chambers of your heart, the peace you imagine when you close your eyes is too much. Too much to ask for. Too much to expect. Too much for someone like you. And so you shrink your desires. You settle for what is offered instead of asking for what you truly need. You tell yourself that wanting more makes you greedy, ungrateful, unrealistic. You watch other people live boldly, ask boldly, receive boldly, and you tell yourself that works for them but not for you. That you are different somehow. That your lot in life is to care for others and accept whatever leftover affection and attention trickles back in your direction. But that belief is not humility, Cancer. It is a wound dressed up as a virtue. It is the scar tissue of every time you expressed a need and were made to feel like a burden. Every time you asked for something and were met with impatience or dismissal. Every time you showed someone the full depth of what you wanted and they responded as if you were being unreasonable. Those moments taught you to want less, to need less, to expect less. And you have been living inside that lesson ever since, quietly starving while convincing yourself you are not hungry. But you are hungry. You are starving for the kind of life that matches the enormous capacity of your heart. A heart that can love with the intensity of an ocean does not belong in a puddle. A soul that dreams in vivid color does not belong in a gray existence. A spirit that nurtures with the force of nature itself does not deserve to be told that its needs are excessive. Your wants are not too much. Your needs are not too much. You are not too much. The people who made you feel that way were simply too little, too limited in their own capacity to match the depth of what you brought to the table. And their limitations are not your truth. Their inability to hold the fullness of your love is not evidence that your love is flawed. It is evidence that they were not the right vessel for it. Start giving yourself permission to want what you actually want, not the watered-down version, not the compromise you have been accepting because it felt safer than asking for more. The real thing. The full, unedited, unapologetic version of your desire. Write it down if you need to. Speak it out loud to an empty room. Let yourself feel the full weight of your longing without immediately dismissing it as impossible. Because it is not impossible. The things you want exist. The love you crave exists. The life you dream about exists. And none of it is reserved for people who are more deserving than you. You are as deserving as anyone who has ever received what they asked for. The only difference is that they asked. They believed they could have it. They did not shrink their desire to fit someone else's comfort level. And that is the only thing standing between you and the life that matches your heart, the willingness to ask for it without apology. So ask. Want boldly. Need openly. Expect the kind of life that honors the depth of who you are. And stop apologizing for having a heart that wants the world when the world is exactly what you were built to hold. Everything you have heard today circles back to one truth that has been trying to reach you for longer than you realize. The things you have been holding on to are not keeping you safe. They are keeping you stuck. Every outdated belief, every absorbed emotion, every guilt-driven sacrifice, every fear-built wall. They were all responses to pain that has already passed. They were strategies that served you once but have long since outlived their usefulness. And now, instead of protecting you, they are standing between you and the life that is trying to reach you. The life that is better. The life that is lighter. The life that has been waiting just beyond the edge of your grip. Asking you to trust that letting go does not mean falling. It means flying. You are not losing anything by releasing these weights. You are gaining everything that has been held at bay by your resistance to change. The love that matches your depth. The peace that does not come with conditions. The joy that is not earned through suffering but received through openness. The relationships that do not require you to shrink, to perform, to carry more than your share. All of it is there. All of it is real. And all of it becomes accessible the moment you decide that the old way is finished. This is your season of clearing, Cancer. The energy around you right now is not subtle. It is pulling things out of your life, sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully, because there is something magnificent on the other side, and the path needs to be open for it to arrive. Every ending you are experiencing right now, every loss, every shift, every uncomfortable goodbye, it is not punishment, it is preparation. The universe does not take from you without giving back tenfold, but the giving cannot happen while your hands are full of what needs to go. So let it go. All of it. The approval seeking, the overgiving, the old templates of love, the emotional absorption, the compulsive fixing, the guilt, the spaces that no longer feel like home, the need to be needed, the fear of opening up, the belief that your wants are too much. Let every single one of those weights fall from your shoulders and feel what happens in the space they leave behind. That space is not emptiness. It is possibility. It is the raw material of your next chapter. And that chapter, Cancer, that chapter is the one you have been waiting for your entire life. You are ready, even if you do not feel ready, even if the fear is loud, even if the guilt tries to pull you back one more time. You are ready because you have survived everything that tried to keep you small, and you are still here, still reading, still hoping, still believing that better exists. It does, and it starts now. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.